What's up, love doves? Little Raven coming at ya. It's 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday named after Tyre. And I wanted to extrapolate on Tyre because I've been saying, like off the cuff, like that Tyre is the Viking war god, but he's much more than that, which I knew that, but I should have looked into this earlier, honestly. Whatever. Not perfect. Okay. Tyre is a significant figure in Viking mythology known as the god of war, law, and oaths. War, law, and oaths. He is one of the major gods of the Norse pantheon and is often associated with justice and heroic glory. So that's very beautiful and powerful for Tuesdays. So good vibes for Tuesdays. Tyre is depicted as a figure of immense significance, embodying law, justice, and heroic glory. His story is not just a tale of divine adventures, but also a reflection of ancient Norse culture. So yeah, wanted to extrapolate on that, and I should have done this earlier, so I apologize that I have just been saying off the cuff that I knew that he symbolized a lot more than just war. I associated it more with like willpower, and like masculinity, but that wasn't quite right, I don't think. And of course, any of my Scandinavian listeners, barbarian.noetics@proton.me, if you want to give me some guidance, I'd appreciate it. But the research that I'm doing right now, he's known as the god of war, law, and oaths. War, law, and oaths. So presides over matters of law and justice. So that's pretty powerful for Tuesdays. And it's 4 a.m. on Tuesday, and I wanted to lean into what I was speaking about, freedom of religion, and how much I appreciate freedom of religion. So I'm free to speak about what I believe in and how I'm a sun worshiper, and just kind of talk about like why am I a sun worshiper. So obviously this is not something that I'm going to be able to encapsulate in like one segment right now, and I didn't like write a whole pre-prepared thing because I think that's boring. I'm just speaking off the cuff about it, but the reason I'm a sun worshiper is because I see the sun as the source of life, because I think that we're made of light, and the sun is just this ball of radiation. And so in a way, like everything is made out of light. If you really like think about it, everything is made out of light. So therefore, why not worship that thing that gives us all this light? And light is like what connects everything to everything in the universe. So it's kind of like almost like neurons or something like that. And I had a really interesting experience the other morning. I was actually having some chest discomfort. And I was like, oh, that's not great. And I couldn't really sleep, and I was feeling overwhelmed. And so luckily the sun was out because I live in Great Bird City. And I was just like really like actually kind of praying to the sun, like, heal my heart, you know? And at the same exact time, a really good friend of mine who's a naturopath, she sent me a meme that shows that it was an image of a photon, and it looked like an eye, like a human eye. And someone caught like an image of a photon and it looks like a human eye, which would suggest that photons are eyes. And that just really blew me away. And then, you know, like when you pray, like you have to like take action too. So that's my belief anyways. Like if you say like, I want to pray to have $1 million, and then just like sit on your butt, probably not gonna get $1 million. You have to like actually take action. But I think what prayers can help do is they help us to gestate ideas about how to accomplish that thing that we're praying for. So anyways, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty details, but thankfully right now I'm not having chest discomfort, so that's really good. But I have taken certain actions also to like help my heart. And but yeah, I just thought it was interesting that at that same moment, my naturopath friend sent me that meme. And I believe in synchronicities. I don't really call them coincidences, I call them synchronicities. And I know that variety is the spice of life, but synchronicities are also a spice of life. They are a flavor of life. They are, I've got it, at least for now, right this moment. I feel that synchronicities are the compass of life, because synchronicities help to show us things that are important. They help to activate our intuition. And so I take synchronicities very seriously, and I'm always very thankful for synchronicities, and I honor synchronicities. I've spoken about this before, but I also feel that there's a connection between black holes in space and the pupils in our eyes, because you got spaces made of all these stars, which are these glowing balls of radiation that is emitting light. And then you got these black holes, and the black holes are just like sucking in all the light. And obviously we don't know what happens to the light when it gets sucked into the black hole. I believe it gets recycled. That's just my speculation. I feel like it's some sort of recycling system. Wanted to extrapolate on this really quick. So at least in the human system, the light enters the pupil, and then it goes, or the pupil allows the light to go in, and then it enters the retina. And something called phototransduction occurs after light enters the retina. And then a bunch of other things happen. Activation, when light hits these cells, when it hits the rods and the cones, it causes a chemical change in photopigments. And then this chemical change triggers an electrical signal. So we got chemical stuff happening, electrical stuff happening, and then there's even more. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but that the end result is conscious awareness. The end result is perception. The processed information is ultimately integrated with other sensory inputs and cognitive processes to produce conscious visual perception. So if we use the human eye as a metaphor to understand the cosmos, not just humans, because all animals have eyes, but we're talking about human eye right now. If we use it as a metaphor to understand the cosmos, then perhaps black holes are a mechanism by which another greater organism or entity absorbs light in order to attain conscious awareness. So I really feel like this is it's indicative that the universe is in fact intelligent. Just saying. But I feel like our eyes, the black pupils in the middle of our eyes, are kind of like black holes, because light gets like, we absorb photons through our pupils, I think. I mean, this is more speculation, but I feel like we absorb the photons through our pupils, and then all sorts of really complicated things happen, and somehow our eyes radiate the images back out as what we see in the world. So if we run with that metaphor, then that would mean that black holes are kind of also like eyes. So that would mean if photons look like eyes or resemble eyes or are somehow similar to eyes, then the black holes also would be part of an eye of some kind, some sort of means of seeing. So that would mean that the universe, the whole universe, is this infinitely sparkled. I was gonna say infinitely complex, but I feel like that sounds so drab. Infinitely complex. Infinitely sparkled network of mechanisms of seeing. So all the universe is organisms that see in different ways. And that's so interesting, it's just kind of like trippy to think about that. If you think about how humans and other animals utilize their eyes, they utilize their eyes to see the world around them. So then it gets into the idea of like multiverses, and I highly doubt that there's only one universe. I quite think that there's probably infinite universes too. I mean, we're talking vast. When we talk about the cosmos, we're talking vastness beyond our wildest dreams. And that's comforting to me, because life, you got the strikes, you got the gutters, you got the ups, you got the downs. And it's easy to get like lost in the nitty-gritty of like surviving and hopefully thriving and navigating each moment. Like, it's easy to get lost in that nitty-gritty. And obviously we have to, because that's kind of how it works, is we have to like make these decisions to like make our lives work. But it's very comforting to think that we are an active participant in an organism that is vast beyond comprehension, and that is all made up of seeing eyes. I just find that very powerful and beautiful. So I think I'm gonna leave it there for tonight, but that's like a bit of why I personally choose to be a sun worshiper. And I obviously respect all belief systems and all religions. I'm very thankful for freedom of religion, but that's why I am a sun worshiper. All right, well, I think that's it, and that's that for tonight, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful Tires Day. Not only war, but laws and oaths and justice. These are powerful concepts. All right, much love, everybody. Little Raven signing out.